No audio. What about now? What about now? Let me know. You hear me now? All right. Are you able to hear me? Let me check it myself. Then. Says no audio. No audio. Are you able to hear me now? Okay, Most High in Christ. Y'all able to hear me now? All right, the water. All right, so we'll go ahead there. All right, the waters just want to make sure. Of course, if you can't hear, you got a question, need something to be repeated, just say Salaka so we'll be able to get to it. All right. Okay, Most High in Christ. Perfect. That's exactly what I wanted to know. Okay. So now we're going to go to Leviticus and we're going to start at verse, I want to say 15. Bear with me just a moment. A little technical difficulty. Bear with me just a moment. So where we going to start at? We're going into the laws about clean, unclean. These things are important. You have different types of clean and unclean, leading into also going into baptism. You understand? What, of course, baptism was literally was you cleaning yourself. Baptism, we had laws and things in the Bible which instituted that were instituted. Excuse me, not only that separates us from the other nations of people, which all of our laws do, but these things came from the Most High. They also were laws about keeping things clean and quarantining. You got to remember, these are thousands of years before you have what you have today: hospitals, emergency rooms. You understand, places where you could go to get emergency medical treatment. Just imagine we're in the wilderness. We're in the wilderness. They've got wild animals. They've got poisonous snakes that are biting people. You can get sick. You can fall ill. There isn't a situation where there's some emergency facility or some established places that you can go to see a doctor, see a pediatrician, see a specialist, to get some, go to CVS or the pharmacy or things like that to go and pick up some medications. We, at that time, we did not have those things. So we are in the process of establishing ourselves as a nation coming out of captivity in Egypt. We will find ourselves again coming out of captivity in America. You understand? I say America because the bulk of the 12 tribes, all of the 12 tribes are here in America. But the bulk, all of the tribes are represented here in America. But of course, our 12 tribes are scattered all throughout the world, throughout the slave trade, throughout, you understand, war, brothers having, making children overseas. You understand, we go to war somewhere in Korea, Vietnam, brothers, have babies with the women over there. Next thing you know, 20, 30, 40 years, they got a whole portion of Vietnam that's not a part of the regular Vietnamese community. You understand? That shunned from society, that are stronger with afros and braids and curly hair, that get kicked out of school, that, have a bunch of gang problems in the worst possible neighborhoods to live in. That happens to our people no matter where we are on the face of the earth. It's a curse from the Most High. So those are just an example, of course. These laws in the Bible were to make us a people. Just imagine if today every single Black, Hispanic, and Native American, not just here in America, but everywhere that we are, one day we are all taken from everywhere, because this is what is going to happen. We are all taken from all the different countries, speaking all the different languages that we have. You understand? Some brothers, like brothers and sisters in Brazil, they're speaking Portuguese. Got brothers and sisters You understand? Speaking Spanish, speaking Dutch, French, English, speaking Arabic. The Arabs enslaved us for centuries. You understand? Centuries. The transatlantic slave trade only exists because of the Arabs trafficking us. Without the Arabs, there is no transatlantic slave trade. The Africans told the Europeans where we were, but the Arabs are the ones that built the ships. There is no transatlantic slave trade without the Arabs. You understand? The slave trade was going west and east. All right. So just imagine we're all in the wilderness. We get set down back in a place all together when we were not together. Hey, shalom, brother. All right. Yeah, right, warrior. We were not together. Now we are all together. In whatever condition, whatever way of life, however we had to live, we are now all together. We are forming a nation. You understand? We are already a nation, but we have to develop ourselves. We have to develop our rules, our code of conduct, how we operate, our laws on marriage, who our God is. Many of our people were worshiping the culture and the gods of the other nations of people. You got brothers and sisters who are Muslims, who are Christians, who are Rastas, who are Hindus, all different types of beliefs, praying to all different types of God, worshiping, celebrating all different types of holidays, all different types of cultures. That is not the one culture that the Most High gave us. And these rules and laws to make us a people, like every other nation has their own culture and rules to make themselves a people. This was the Lord separating us once again from all of the other people on the planet. So now, when you have these laws here, which we go into Leviticus, the 22nd chapter, the laws of what's going on, these things are framing how our future generations are supposed to operate. All right. So now, let's see. The leper. All right. Trying to get not the things that were in the temple, so which touch of anything unclean. Bear with me just a moment. I don't want the laws that are in the temple. No stranger eat of the holy thing. No traveler. Bear with me just a moment. Let me sacrifice peace offerings. Okay. Be a maid. I'll tell you what. To be a maid, child. That's exactly what we're going into. Cleanness, uncleanness, baptism. Let's see. Pharaoh's daughter, bear with me just a moment. This is exactly what I'm looking for. 12. Leviticus, the 12th chapter. Salakia. It's 12. I believe we're going to start at 1. Because that's not the one that I wanted. Perfect. This is exactly what I was looking for. Leviticus chapter 12 and verse 1. This is what I want.
Leviticus chapter 12, verse 1. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, speak unto the children of Israel.
Right. The Lord giving instructions to Moses, telling Moses what to say to the children of Israel. Again, you have that hierarchical command. The children of Israel will never, ever learn anything that the Most High said. Never. The only way that they're going to hear from the Most High is if Moses tells them. That's the only way they're going to hear what the Lord wants them to do. There's going to come a time, you understand? It's possible come time in the future that the only way that people will ever hear what the Lord has to say is they're going to hear it from you. Many of you brothers out there, that's the only time that they're actually going to hear what the Lord has to say, is they're going to hear it from you. You're not going to hear it any other way. You understand? They might think they're hearing from God. They're hearing voices in their head, hearing all kind of nonsense. Think if they close their eyes enough and squeeze their hands together, that magically whatever comes into their mind means they're hearing from God. That's not true. You understand? The Lord spoke to Moses to give instructions to the children of Israel because Moses was above the children of Israel. You understand? That's a very important concept that flows throughout the Bible. And now he's going to explain this framework for how the Lord is instructing the nation. And we're going to go over and show what that actually does to the nation with these laws. So keep going from there.
Kind of one time. Saying, if a woman have conceived seed,
Excellent point. If a woman have conceived seed, the seed, of course, is twofold. The seed is talking about a child. That's what it's talking about. How does a woman conceive? She has sex with a man. She conceives because a man puts seed, his seed, that is alive and swimming inside of his testes. He puts his seed inside of a woman. Now she has conceived his seed. All right? Very important what the definitions of words mean. The only reason and the only way that the Christian church is able to scam our people, and we put such great emphasis and focus on the Christian church because the number one enemy to Christ was the religious leaders. The number one enemy to stop our people from turning back and serving the Most High is the Christian church. It is the reason why our people believe that they don't have to obey the Most High, why they believe that it's okay to molest children and sell drugs and commit murders and have sex with other brothers' women, and that God is still on their side, and have women preachers and homosexuals be empowered by their praise and worship dances and their choirs. It is the only reason that our people believe that that is acceptable and that that is somehow connected to God is because of the Christian church. It is the reason our people believe slavery should be left in the past. Our oppressors should not have to pay. What happened in the past doesn't matter unless it is for our oppressor. Why people believe race doesn't matter, color doesn't matter. It is specifically why blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans are separate from other nations of people. Is why we are separated from each other is because of the Christian church. All right? That is the chief enemy to our people. That is the chief enemy to the work of the Lord. It was Christ's chief enemy. The religious leaders, the only reason Christ got crucified is because of those religious leaders. All right? That and it was the Lord's will, it was prophecy, but the religious leaders gathered the people and forced them to vote to crucify Christ. All right? And as you progress into the truth, you will find yourself unlearning the things that the Christian church has taught you, fighting against the things that the Christian church has taught our people that we've been led to believe about everything, right, wrong, life, death, heaven, hell, everything. All right. So you will hear that very often. All right. The word conceive, the definition from Webster's dictionary means to become pregnant with. You understand? To form a conception. To become pregnant with, to have a conception. That is why the Christian church teaches this concept of immaculate conception. All right? The immaculate conception, for those of you that don't know, is talking about how Mary had an immaculate conception to give birth to Christ that did not come from sex with Joseph. Because in the Christian church's mind and what they teach, sex with a man and a woman is not holy. It's not immaculate. It's not godly. It's not pure. It's not wonderful the way that the Lord set it up to be. It is not holy and spiritual, which is why the Roman Catholic Church teaches that a man cannot have a wife and serve God. It is why fake Israelites teach that a man can only have one wife if he's going to serve God, because they do not understand the Bible. All right? And the definition of conceive is very important. All right? And then from there, you have conception. Conception is very important. The process of becoming pregnant involving fertilization or implantation of both. You understand? All of those things are very important because the definition of this, what the word means, is proving that Joseph, that God could not have magically impregnated Mary. All right, which is more fairy tales that the Christian church has taught our people that the vast majority of blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans believe it. All right, so go ahead and start that scripture again from the top, brother.
Con, I don't want con. Leviticus chapter 12, verse 1. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, saying, If a woman have conceived seed and born a man child,
Right. If she conceives seed, now she's pregnant, and there's a boy child. All right. The child is a man. It's a boy. Keep going.
then she shall be unclean 7 days.
She shall be unclean 7 days. Now we're going to go into what all of that means. For 7 days, she's unclean. That means whoever touches her will be unclean until the evening. She is unclean for 7 days because she just had a baby. All right. She's got a baby. She's bleeding. The fluids are coming out of her. She's recovering. Maybe she got a fever, all kind of things, bodily fluids being exchanged. She's got this baby. This is to create a separation. This is a time where she should not be, where everyone should be away from her. You understand? She shouldn't be just in general public. Everybody around her with all of her germs and whatever's going on with her body, she needs to be in a place where she is separate so that everyone can know that she is unclean. Now, of course, we're not in a hospital ward, an ICU, all of these places where we have our babies now. We are in the wilderness. So much of the diseases and things that spread throughout these other nations comes from their lack of hygiene, their lack of quarantining things, just like the outbreaks for cholera, for example, and other ill-born, airborne and illnesses from touching people's bodily fluids and getting blood and things on them. All of these things create and spread illnesses and disease. All right. So now these laws are instituting so that everyone knows when you have a baby, she is to be separate. She's unclean. Don't go where she is. Don't go touching her and everything. She needs this time, which is her uncleanness for this period. All right. So keep reading from there.
Con out of one con. Then she shall be unclean 7 days.
Right. She's got 7 days. She's unclean. All right. Keep going.
According to the days of the separation for her infirmity shall she be unclean.
The days for her separation, she shall be unclean. All right. Her infirmity, her sickness, she's unclean. She's not well. She's recovering. She just had a baby. You understand? You should not be expecting to see. This is how you have society as a free people. You should not be expecting to see her back at work. She just had a baby. She's not. You shouldn't be expecting to see her back at work on the job. You understand? All right. Of course, in captivity, we don't have these luxuries all the time. You understand? If you in Esau's military, sisters had a baby, end up giving the baby to mom, and the United States Army sends sisters to Afghanistan to go get their arms and legs blown off to come back at 20 years old with a goddamn newborn. I seen it too many times. You understand? All the more reason why we are not to join a covenant or swear an oath to another nation of people's government or their military. You understand? But keep going.
Verse 3. And in the 8th day, the flesh of his foreskin shall be circumcised.
Right. In the 8th day, this male child, the flesh of his foreskin on his rod. You understand? The babies shall be, if it's a male child, shall be circumcised. You would take the foreskin off of his penis and circumcise it on the 8th day. You understand? That's on the 8th day. Now, of course, we here, not in our culture, not in our land, the circumcision is usually done the day that the baby is born. They usually do it right then and there. But our custom was always the 8th day. You understand? But this was a covenant that the Most High made with Abraham, that the males of your lineage should be circumcised as a covenant to the Most High. That comes from the Bible. Another one of our cultures that is spread to other nations of people by them having our records or having us in captivity. All right? So keep going.
Verse 4, and she shall then continue in the blood of her purifying 33 days.
Right. She's unclean for those 8 days. Then she's going to, you understand, she conceives seed. She's unclean for 7 days. So she's still unclean. You understand? She's got a bleeding, the body's resetting. She's still unclean, but on the 8th day, that male son gets circumcised. All right? Now, it's saying she's continuing because she had a male child 3 and 30 days. All right? Keep going.
She shall touch no hallowed thing.
Nothing that is holy she's supposed to touch. All the more while you are bleeding. You understand? You have a monthly cycle, you're on a baby, you are unclean regardless for a certain period of time if you are a woman after you have a child. If you are on your monthly cycle, or what's known in the Bible as your flower, you are unclean for a certain period of time. You are not allowed to touch any hallowed thing. You are not allowed to come amongst the gathering or the congregation. You understand? The school, the high holy days, the places where the people are gathered together, you are not allowed to be there if you are unclean. That's why we have these laws, clean and unclean. That's why we're going over them. All right? So keep going.
Nor come into the sanctuary.
The sanctuary, where the people, the body of the people are gathered. That sanctuary is not what the Christian church teaches is a sanctuary. That's not what that is. You understand? We were in caves running from our enemies a good percentage of the Bible. We were living underneath the streets of the city before someone snitched on us in Rome, running from the Greeks in the caves during the time of the Maccabees. You understand? So the sanctuary is not one specific place. All right? So keep going.
Until the days of her purifying be fulfilled.
Until her time to be unclean is fulfilled. So if you got a male child, you are unclean those 33 days, and then you have the initial 7 days. So what is that? You got about 40 days. You unclean, you got a male child, you're unclean. So everyone that touches you or whatever you touch is unclean until the evening. Everyone that touches you is unclean until the evening. Once her time for that purifying is over, she is clean. Whatever she touches is clean. Then she is no longer have to be separated. All right? So keep going.
Verse 5. But if she bear a maid child.
A maid child is a woman. If she has a little girl. That's why it calls it a maid child. Maid, so old English, old Quaker English for a woman or a girl. All right? Keep going.
Then she shall be unclean 2 weeks.
If she has a maid child, she is unclean double the amount of time if she has a boy. Keep going.
As in her separation.
All right.
And she shall continue in the blood of her purifying 66 days.
Right. 60. A score is 20. So 60 is 20 times 6. 20 times 6 is 60. And 6 days. So she has 66 days of being unclean if she has a girl. So lock it. All right. 66 days if she has a girl. It is longer for a girl than it is for a boy. It's a longer time. All right. This is something very important. There's a river that flows throughout the Bible. All right. Men and women are not equal. Things are not the same for a man as they are for a woman. Not as babies, not as adults, in no way at all are they equal. Equality is not biblical. The concept of equality is a fictitious thing. It's not real anywhere. All right. And God in the Bible wants us to unlearn this concept of equality that the Christian church has taught our people. You understand? So keep going.
And when the days of her purifying are fulfilled, for a son or for a daughter,
Right.
she shall bring a lamb of the first year for a burnt offering.
Right. In those days, after you were purified, after she finished her time for the separation for a boy or for a girl, she would then bring a lamb for a burnt offering. The burnt offering, of course, would go to the priest, which is why she can't come anywhere where the sacrifices are going to be, where the classes are going to be, where the teachers are going to be, where the temple is, where the school is, where the congregation of brothers and sisters will be gathered. You understand? She can't come in there because she has this issue of her infirmity. She is unclean. All right. Not only does that keep the Lord created these laws about clean and unclean. So not only does that keep the Lord's laws and keep this place holy and sanctified. All right. But it also creates an understanding between the people that this is a time for purification where she is to be separated, where everyone is not supposed to be around her. You understand, she should not be expected to just go out and rejoin into society as though nothing has happened. This keeps down the spread of diseases, the spread of sicknesses, all of these things, and it sets a precedent. This is where you come up with these laws that later on down the line, people start to look at companies and things like that. Well, we have this female employee. We need to have something in place so that when she has this child, that she's not expected to just show up and work like she didn't just give birth. We as a nation have these things instituted in our laws. All right. So that's just sidebar there. All right. So what verse you at there? She giving the offering. All right.
Mm-hmm. And a young pigeon
A
or a turtle dove for a sin offering unto the door of the tabernacle of the congregation.
right. So she's giving an offering. Of course, thanks to Christ, the Lord no longer accepts the offerings of bulls and goats. There are no more animal offerings, no more pigeon, turtle dove, bull, ram. We are no longer giving offerings for sins. No longer giving an offering for sin. Christ ended that. You understand? That ended with the Levitical priesthood. Now there's the priesthood under Melchizedek, which is under Christ. All right. So that's those laws there. All right. Now, where we want to go, bear with me just a moment. So, Lockie, just a moment there. All right. Now, we want to go to wash self in water. Let me get and show this. Bear with me just a moment. So, Lockie washes clothes in water numbers. It's a specific ones I'm looking for. Should be the 19th. Go to Numbers chapter 19. And come man this week. Okay, that's what I want. That's what I want. Perfect. Perfect. Exactly what I want. Go to Leviticus. I mean, so like right where you are, Numbers chapter 19, and then verse 7.
Con out of one con. Numbers chapter 19, verse 7. Then the priest shall wash his clothes.
Right. You're talking about what's going on here. We have places that are sick, places that are infectious. You understand? We got laws in the Bible. There's mold in the house. There's someone in a house or a place where they have sickness. That's why hospitals now, they have ICU wards. They got critical care wards. They got the AIDS wing. They got cancer wings. They got different sections for different specialized illnesses. And they got people that might have to go in a suit. You might have to go in scrubs. You might have to wear gloves and a mask, depending on what section and what's going on medically with the people. Of course, in the wilderness, we didn't have any of those. The priest in the Bible did so much more than work in the temple. All right. The priest was literally like the core and the backbone of the nation. The priests are doing site inspections. The priests are doing mold inspections. The priests are doing medical things. The priests are making sacrifices and offerings. The priests are teaching. The priests are doing so many things that's contained in the Bible. The Bible literally has our identity in the Bible. Everything about our life, our culture, how we function on a day-to-day basis is important to know and understand these things. You understand? Because we could end up back doing these things again. Like the Bible is not just, singing and dancing and don't eat pork, don't eat shrimp, don't eat crabs. There's a lot of important things and knowledge and wisdom about how to run a society, a nation, a family, a city, a community, a neighborhood. All of these things are contained in the laws, statutes, and commandments in the Bible. These are a lot of instructions that the Lord gave to us. All right. So just let me know if y'all follow me. All right. So keep reading, brother. The water. All right. Well, go ahead.
And he shall bathe his flesh in water.
Right. Wash your clothes. Bathe your flesh in water. Wash yourself. Wash your clothes. This is a foreign concept to the heathen. The heathen are not known for washing and bathing all the time. That is an Israelite concept. Wash your clothes. Wash yourself. You understand? The heathen, a lot of the heathens are not even smart enough to set up their villages near water. You understand? That's what baptism is. Baptism is you washing yourself. That's it. There was nothing special about dipping you in water and now this means you serve God. It was about cleaning yourself. It was ceremonial. You understand? As a part of the laws in the Bible, you were to wash and bathe yourself regularly. You understand? If somebody is sick, wash and bathe yourself. Who knows why this is saying that? Why is the Lord saying and implementing these things in the Bible? Why would this matter? Who knows why? Who want to give it a shot? Y'all type in who want to give it a shot. What about you, young man? Can you give it a shot? Give it a shot. You first crack. You here? Go ahead.
I know a priest always supposed to, well, not just a priest, but being in the nation period, always supposed to, bathe regularly and wash our clothes and things of that nature, to keep down a lot of filth and sickness and dirt, and just you want to smell good, just take care of your personal hygiene, a way of presenting yourself.
Exactly. And the other nations of people don't have laws. where everyone is washing and bathing and keeping their own personal hygiene. Keep the sickness down as a nation. That's correct. That is exactly correct. It is in our laws, just like not eating pork, just like not eating crab and shrimp, not being clean causes diseases. Exactly. It is in our laws to be a clean people. When the oppressor came from Europe, the white man came from Spain, came from England, came from Europe, they were filthy. They were free, but they did not wash. They didn't bathe. They were sick. They didn't have health and hygiene. They bought smallpox. They took dumps in their drinking water. They threw feces. You ever heard the term a pot to piss in and a window to throw it out of? Anybody ever heard that term before? But that is literally what they did in Europe. They would piss and defecate in pots. Like not a toilet, they would defecate. Take a dump in a pot and then go to their window and throw it out into the streets. And then they would come with herds of pigs to eat the feces that they dropped in the street. All of the trash, all of the feces that they would throw in the streets, someone would come with herds of pigs to eat all the feces, all the dirt, and that was their process of being clean. They didn't wash and bathe regularly. They didn't wash their clothes regularly. They didn't do these things, and they spread diseases. When they got to the New World, they called the Native Americans savages, but the place was absolutely clean. And it wasn't full of sicknesses. It wasn't full of diseases. The water was clean. The lakes were clean. The skies were clean. The land was clean. Everything was clean. They absolutely destroyed it because they are a filthy people. We are not filthy. We got laws to not be like the Egyptians, not be like the other nations of people that were around us. And as they developed from having us in captivity, then they learned, oh, we should wash every day. Maybe if we bathed and washed our clothes, when grandma gets sick, maybe everybody won't die if we start taking baths. Maybe we should put her in a separate place until she gets better, rather than let her be sick in this house and we all just sit here and let her sneeze and bleed on us and then we all die. You understand? Like that's what's in the Bible. You understand? So keep going.
Come. And afterward he shall come into the camp.
Right. After you wash, bathe your clothes, wash yourself, then you come into the camp. Keep going.
And the priest shall be unclean until the even.
And until the even, until the sun goes down, if you are unclean, whatever you touch, you are unclean until the even. You wash yourself. Once the sun goes down, then you are clean. Then you can come back around, come into the sanctuary, the hollow place, the gathering of the people. Then you can come back around. And what this does is not only does it teach us hygiene, but it makes us as a nation a clean people. It makes us as a nation the people who are not getting sick while everyone else is getting sick. Because we're always cleaning. We're always washing our clothes. You understand? And then we develop a reputation for being the people that's the flyest, the cleanest. We smell the best. That's why the Lord liked that frankincense and myrrh. That frankincense and myrrh is a smell. The Lord loves that smell. The Lord wants the temple to smell like burning meat, grilled steak, grilled lamb. Like the Lord loves that smell. Why do you think people love a barbecue so much? A cookout. As soon as the weather changes, what people doing? They out on the grill. They flipping burgers. They grilling steaks. They grilling corn. Guess what was going on in the temple, Hebrew? What was going on in the temple, young man Kenny? What was going on in the temple?
They were cooking it up, Adawan. They were cooking it up, you know.
Damn
eating
right.
good.
In the Feast of First Fruits, you had to bring a sheaf of your first fruits of the crops of your corn. And what happened to that corn, that parched corn that got brought into the temple? What happened to that corn? Same thing happens to that corn when you bring it to the cookout. They put that corn on the grill. They put the lamb on the grill. They put the leg quarters on the grill. You see, she's offering a turtle dove, a young pigeon, a lamb, a heifer, goats. You understand? The Lord liked that smell. The temple smelled like frankincense and myrrh and a steakhouse. You understand? Like that's our culture. You understand? Damn vegans talk about, see, God said we ain't supposed to eat meat. That's a damn lie. The only thing that God has commandments that must be eaten is meat. We got a commandment to eat lamb during the Passover. The priest got orders from the Most High to eat all the offerings that get sacrificed all throughout the day. Those is orders from the Lord. What do you think was going on? You killed 1,000-pound cow. What do you think happened to that cow? You understand? Like this is our actual culture. You understand? So the water. So keep going.
Verse 8. And he that burneth her shall wash his clothes in water.
So like it said, he that burneth her shall wash his clothes in water. Go ahead.
And bathe his flesh in water.
And wash his clothes in water, bathe his flesh in water. Why does he keep saying wash this, bathe, wash, bathe? All right. He keeps saying those things over and over again. All right. Keep going.
And shall be unclean until the even.
Right. Until the even. All right. Give me verse 11.
Verse 11. He that toucheth the dead body of any man shall be unclean 7 days.
If you touch a dead body, you are unclean 7 days. Don't touch a dead body. You are unclean 7 days if you touch a dead body. All right. Keep going.
Verse 12. He shall purify himself with it on the 3rd day.
Right.
And on the 7th day he shall be clean.
Right. He shall be clean. The 7th day you shall be clean. What is the process? How do you get clean? You wash yourself. Wash those clothes. Wash whatever that dead body touched. You understand? Separate it. Bag it. Wash it. Separate it. Once the sun goes down, whatever is unclean is now clean. But if you touch a dead body, you are unclean 7 days. Each day the sun goes down, you are still unclean. And the 7th day the sun goes down, you are now clean if you have touched a dead body. You understand? So keep going.
But if he purify not himself the 3rd day, then the 7th day he shall not be clean.
So like what verse you read? You read verse 12? Okay, he purified. Then the 7th day he shall not be clean. These are specific orders. You understand? Now, why would it be saying these to the priests? Why is it saying these? Who knows? Guess what else the priests doing? Who will give it a shot? Why are they telling the priests about touching the dead body? Why are they saying this? Who deals with the dead bodies now in society? Who deals with them?
Slacky.
Go ahead, brother.
Where the morticians deal with the dead bodies, and as for the priest touching the dead bodies, he has to be clean because he has to offer up for the sins of the nation of Israel.
The priest, that he does have to offer up for the nation of Israel. You're right. And the mortician does deal with the dead bodies. That's damn right. Damn right, Trooper Yagadar. You got it right. The mortician. We in the wilderness, brother. Young man Kelly, who's the mortician? 5 million of us in the wilderness, brother. Ricky just dropped dead. Who's the mortician?
The priest.
Yes, the priest. In addition to the priest teaching and doing the Sabbath service and doing the offering and checking for mold and dealing with the issues of the people, the priest is also dealing with the dead. The priest is also dealing with the body, dealing the offerings for the dead. You understand? Making sure this is clean, making sure the quarantine is regulated, making sure that this body is properly disposed of. We got to get this brother in the ground. Where did he die? We got to deal with that. How did he die? Did he have a heart attack or did someone bust his head open? The priest is doing so much more. All of these things is what an actual man of God is. The reason why there are so many for-profit jobs and businesses that are able to feed on Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans is because nobody actually knows what a man of God is supposed to do according to the Bible. Now, ISUPK, we doing funeral services, counseling, drug treatment, rehab, prison program, teaching, substance abuse program, housing program, trooper programs, all kind of programs, because this is what the actual men of God do. Ask T.D. Jakes, he ever did a funeral. Ask Creflo Dollar, he ever did a funeral. Ask them when have they prepared the body of a brother or a sister who has passed away. The funeral home is making money hand over fist. $5,000 coffins, this, that. $10,000 for this service, that service, rental this, rental that. That's what men of God do. That's the actual job that the priests do. The priests got to know all of this. They, in this empire, everything that is supposed to be built into our society has been turned into a lucrative business to feed off of our people. You understand? And guess what? Guess who's, I'm not even going to give it away. Just keep reading. Just keep reading.
Verse 13. Whosoever toucheth the dead body of any man that is dead and purifieth not himself defileth the tabernacle of the Lord.
Right. You're going to defile the house of the Most High. You're going to defile the house of the Lord if you don't purify yourself. This is for the entire nation. The nation needs this place to stay purified. Otherwise, the Lord will not be with us. We got enemies on every side. You understand? All nations. We surrounded by nations. If you picture this, if you go into the Black community, the Chinese have a business. The Vietnamese, they doing nails. Somebody else is scrubbing feet. Someone else is painting the nails. The dollar store, the liquor store, the carry out. The East Indians got the Baskin Robbins, the Subway, the Popeyes, all of the shops, stores, and businesses in the community. You got the Arabs or the Pakistanis, they got their shop. They selling lambs, the halal spot. Everybody has a portion of the Black, Hispanic, and Native American community. Everybody. This whole land belongs to either Mexicans who are native to America or the North American Indians. Everybody else on this land is feeding on the land of Native Americans and Mexicans. Just imagine all of those people with businesses in the Black neighborhood. They don't have businesses because they can't come in and set up shop. They don't have the money from the beauty supply stores. They don't have the money from the carryouts. They don't have the money from the nail salons. They don't have the money from any of the businesses. They can't own the properties in the ghetto, the real estate, the mattress stores, the electronic stores, the Baskin Robbins. They don't have any of that money. You know what they would be doing? Guess what they would be doing? What did they do throughout the entire Bible? We say these prayers every Sabbath service, every high holy day. Psalms, the 83rd chapter. Is it registering yet? Who knows what Psalms, the 83rd chapter is about? Who knows? Y'all been in Sabbath service. Who want to give it a shot? Like, this is how serious it is obeying the Most High and why it is so important that that temple remain holy. Because if we don't obey the Most High, all of those enemies that surround us, they are confederate against thee. They're all joined together. The tabernacles of Moab, the Ishmaelites and the Hagarenes, Gabal and Ammon and Amalek, the Philistines with the inhabitants of Tyre. Asher also is joined with them. They have hope in the children of Lot. All of these nations are waiting on an opportunity so that they can all set up businesses in our neighborhood. That's why they fought to wipe out our nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. Because now that nobody knows that we are the children of Israel, they can come and set up shops in North, South, Central America, and the Caribbean, and they will get filthy rich while we have no identity. This is what it's talking about. This is why these laws are so important, that this temple be maintained, the sanctuary, these laws, these rules on being clean and unclean. All right. So once we go to baptism, this is all the baptism means. They would have to pay us instead of us paying them. That would make sense. That would make sense. They would pay us. But that's what you do to a company that you respect. They don't respect us. They didn't respect us then, and they don't respect us now. They declared war on us. That's why King David was killing 20,000 people a day. We had war for 40 years against the Philistines. 40 years. We had war against Amalek. Joshua was killing tens of thousands of our enemies every day, because if they didn't, then they would come and kidnap our people and enslave them and force them to work for them. And in slavery, what do? We invent. We build their cities, their roads, their treasure cities, like we did in Egypt, like Washington, D.C., and New York City. We made skyscrapers in New York City. We made this laptop, the cell phone, the video game cartridge, the refrigerator, the freezer, the ice box, macaroni and cheese, potato chips, everything that makes life wonderful, we would make in captivity. That's exactly what we did here in America. That's why we got a series called The Form of All Things. So these laws and rules not only contain our culture and our heritage as a people, but this is what makes us strong. You understand? So keep going. Anyone that touches a dead body, you'll be unclean. Keep going. Shalak.
And that soul shall be cut off from Israel.
That soul gonna be cut off from Israel. You put the whole nation in jeopardy. As a priest, what you do can put the entire nation in jeopardy. All of the other priests, you can put everyone in jeopardy. There's a story in the Bible with Joshua. You understand? I doubt if we have time to go to it tonight, but if we do, I might cover it. The story in the Bible, we went to war against the Babylonians. I believe Joshua had to go to war against everybody to get them out of our land so we could have our land inheritance, which we never got all of it anyway. But we got instructions to not take anything from them because they had wealth, they had riches and power. The Lord gave us instructions, don't take anything from them. This is not for your personal gain. This mission, these orders, destroy everything, burn everything, don't keep anything. Order, militant, discipline. And one brother decided that he was going to take something for himself. He decided that he deserved this. He owes it to himself for all the hard work that he's doing. He should have a little bit more. He knew what was best for him, and he took something that he was not supposed to take. And by him doing that, which is the same example, it's the same spirit for these laws saying, don't make the temple unclean. Don't risk the rest of the priesthood, the rest of the nation, the rest of your brothers, the rest of your people for your own personal come up, something that orders have been given not to do. He took this thing. And when he took it, the ongoing war that we were in, for the first time in years of fighting our enemies, we had never lost a man. We all went to war. We all came back. Tens of thousands of them died every battle. Not a single one of us died. Well, this brother decided to take something for himself to get him some personal salvation. And then the next war, brothers started dying left and right. The next battle. And then, of course, everybody wondering what's wrong. We're not supposed to be the ones dying. The enemy's supposed to be dying. The whole morale is broken. The unit is running. Nobody's supposed to be able to touch us. Now we dying. Something is wrong. Joshua had to go and investigate to find out why this happened. Because the Lord told Joshua, no man could stand before you. The Lord told Joshua, there's sin in the camp. We did the investigation, found out a brother took something that he hid, an idol from the other nations, one of the people we were at war with. Ended up costing a lot of brothers their lives and their families for his own personal gain. Of course, as a matter of fact, this is such a very good story that we might go here now just to deal with it. That's a very, very important story. Stories like that are all over the Bible to teach to not be selfish, to not be a Christian. You understand? Very important stories of Joshua. Let me get that. Sit in the camp. Bear with me just a moment. What verse you read, young man Kenny?
I believe I was in Numbers 19, verse 13.
19:13. The water. Let's see. Stay where you are. It's a lot. Let me get that. Numbers 19 and 13. That was just a moment. Joshua 7. I think Joshua chapter 7. Bear with me just a moment. Hold where you at. Go to Joshua, the 7th chapter. I might have you start at the beginning. Joshua, the 7th chapter. Let me just find where it starts. Right. Joshua 7. Yeah. As a matter of fact, it's right here, Joshua chapter. It's probably in Joshua chapter 6, probably at the end of 6. Chapter 6. I'm gonna find it in just a second. Bear with me just a moment. Joshua chapter 6. They spot out the city, the gates. Because this happens several times. Destroyed the city. walls of Jericho. Israel curse. These are the instructions. This is why the disciplining things are so very important, because this could be the difference between life and death, not for yourselves. And this is a very important lesson. It's a very spiritual lesson that we cannot learn outside of this body. That many brothers failed to get these things. They would have to pay instead of us paying. That's right. Okay. Go to Joshua chapter 6 and verse 17.
Con, one con.
All right. Joshua chapter 6. You got it, brother.
Chapter 6, verse 17. And the city shall be accursed, even it, and all that are therein.
Everything in this city. Now, of course, we had war. We get ready to take this land. It said the city is going to be accursed. Everything in this city. Nothing in this city is good. Keep going.
To the Lord.
Right.
Only Rahab the harlot shall live.
Only thing supposed to live from this city is Rahab. All right. Rahab was a prostitute. That's what a harlot is. And she cut the deal. Joshua sent spies into the land. Of course, if you're familiar with the Bible, you may have heard this story before. She sent spies into the land. The young men spied them out. She saw them. They hid on the rooftop of her house while the men in the city were walking around. Said, what are you here for? Just to catch you up on speed on this story. She tells them what the deal is. He say, listen, you hide us here, then you'll live. But everybody else in this city, we're finna run through this thing. Gonna step on everything in this city. Joshua sent the two young boys to check it out. They're gonna come back and give a report. That city is done for. Rahab makes the deal, says, all right, I'm gonna hide you here. When y'all come through, make sure you spare my house. That's all I ask. They say, you got it. She hid them. They went back, gave the report to Joshua. You understand? Now here we are. Joshua got the report back. He giving instructions to the men before everybody fall on this city. All right. Everything in this city is a curse. Everything getting stepped on except Rahab. She gonna live. Keep going.
She and all that are with her in the house.
Everybody that's in that house, they're gonna live. Keep going.
Because she hid the messengers that we sent.
She hid the recon unit that Joshua sent. She hid them in her house. Because of that, she in that house gonna live. Everybody else gonna die. Keep going.
Verse 18. And ye, in any wise, keep yourselves from the accursed thing.
Keep going.
Lest you make yourselves accursed.
Don't keep nothing. Otherwise, you are going to make yourself accursed. Keep going.
When ye take of the accursed thing and make the camp of Israel a curse.
And make what?
The camp of Israel a curse.
What is going to make the camp of Israel a curse? Let's see who got it. What's going to make the camp of Israel a curse? Y'all type in real quick. Y'all answer. Give me a second. I'm step away for a moment. What's going to make the camp of Israel a curse? It's right there in the scripture. Right there in the scripture. What's going to make the camp of Israel a curse? Let's see. Everybody in here. We got all the all-stars in here. If they take any possessions. Okay. We got one answer. Who else want to give it a shot? What's going to make the camp a curse? Anyone who takes any of the accursed things. Good answer. All right. Of their possessions. Good answer. That's right. What's going to make the camp of Israel a curse? Read that one more time. Just the 2 lines, just 2 lines before where you were reading that. Read that one more time. Well,
Khan,
before.
I don't want Khan. Would you like for me to start at the top of verse 18?
That same verse right where you were, just a few lines. If you take anything.
Okay. When ye take of the accursed thing.
When who takes the accursed thing?
When ye take of the accursed thing.
He's talking to everybody, but when you take the accursed thing, you do it. Not everybody. Everybody didn't do this. When you take the accursed thing, keep going.
And make the camp of Israel a curse.
Damn. You mean to tell me that if I do something, everybody cursed? Why can't, if you do something, I'm going to be cursed? Why I can't just have my personal salvation like I was promised? Long as I got Jesus, I don't need nobody else. Not my God, not my Jesus. I'll pray about it. Read that one more time. What the Lord say?
When ye take of the accursed thing and make the camp of Israel a curse.
You taking something that's accursed cause the curse to come on all of us. You bring drugs in, you turn our neighborhood into a dope zone. You start stealing cars, you tell all the car thieves this is where you want to go to steal cars. Everybody who's ever known where cars got stolen, all the car thieves know where to come and steal cars from. How do they know? Because that's where the car's getting stolen. Anybody coming to sell dope, how do they know where to sell the dope? Because that's where the other dope dealers are. How do they know where all the traffic is going to follow? The Bible says a curse will not come without a cause. If you do this, everyone is going to suffer because of you. The spirit behind this is to make sure that every brother is thinking of his brother. You understand? That's the spirit all throughout the Bible. The reason why you are unclean and you are staying away is because you're unclean, and you being unclean could cause your brother to suffer. You understand? If you are sick, you should be separated, because all of us could end up suffering because you were not considerate that this could also hurt your brother. This could also hurt your sister. This could hurt my people. If I go robbing, what is this going to do to my people? If I go kidnapping, what is this going to do to my people? And this is a lesson that the Lord has been trying to teach us as a nation, literally since the beginning of recorded time in history. The Lord has been trying to get us to learn this lesson. Keep going.
God. And trouble it.
Trouble is going to come. Some brother who didn't do anything wrong, he is going to get trouble from God. He's going to get trouble from the Lord, not because of something he did, because of something you did. You understand? Keep going.
Verse 19. But all the silver and gold and vessels of brass and iron are consecrated unto the Lord.
All the brass, all the metals, the silver, the gold, all of those things belong to the Lord. We're going to take that, melt that down. That's going to be for the service of the Most High. Everything else that they got, you like their robes, you like the way they look, they dress, they ornaments, they trinkets. Don't take none of their stuff. Nothing. It doesn't matter. Before you see what it looks like, before you find out how much it's worth, before you find out if you got a plug on the other side of town, you might be able to sell it somewhere else. You can push it on Amazon. Before you figure any of that out, any instructions, don't take none of their stuff. None of it. You're going to put all of the brothers' lives in danger if you do. This is the level of discipline that the Lord has been trying to instill in our people. This level, so that every brother is so tight with his brother, not by his feelings, not by his emotions, not because it's a holiday, not because it's the Christmas spirit, not because of Father's Day, Mother's Day, Valentine's Day, some holiday, Thanksgiving, Halloween, not because you got the spirit of the season, because your principles that you live by are the same principles that your brother lives by. And the most important things in his life is his brothers. More important than his wife, than his wives, more important than his children, than his own life, and his money. When Christ picked up his disciples, Christ took his disciples from their family business. Andrew and Peter, I believe they were fishermen. They were on the boat with their father and the employees at this family fishing company that they worked at. That's why he told them, cast the net on the other side. They professional fishermen. They know where to cast that net. They don't need no help fishing. This is their job, their business. Christ told them, put the net on the other side. They got more fish than they could keep. He said, if you follow me, I'll make you fishers of men. They knew this was the Christ. They walked out their job, rode with him, left dad in the boat with the workers and went to follow Christ and never looked back. You understand? Like, that's a spirit that's flowing through the Bible. Now think of all the amazing works. How many thousands of years? It's 2023. From the calendar, this is 2023 AD, which means after the death of Christ. It has been 2023 years, roughly. Because the white man, he didn't know about calendars. He don't know his real time anyway. They didn't know that the year had 3 months to every season. That's why they had to make up 2 months, which is Julius and Augustus. That's why November, Novi means 9. Deci means 10. Octo means 8. But October is the 8th month. December is the 12th month. November is the 11th month. They didn't know how long the year was. That's why they had to make up 2 months after 2 seasons. They didn't know. They're cavemen. But anyway, it's been thousands of years, and people to this day are still talking about Peter, Paul, Luke, John, Matthew. And you understand? Because they decided to follow Christ, serve the Most High that day. See what I'm saying? And now they are legendary forever. They didn't think so at the time, but they are now. See what I'm saying? All right. So he's telling them, he's giving them specific instructions. All right. Now, skip me down to verse 21.
Verse 21. And they utterly destroyed all that was in the city.
Right. They destroyed everything. Everything in that city, they destroyed it. Keep going.
Both man and woman.
Man and woman. Everybody in that city, everybody died. Keep going.
Young and old.
Young and old. Keep going.
And ox.
Uh-huh.
And sheep. And ass.
Yep, the donkey, the ox, the sheep. How did they die? Keep going.
With the edge of the sword.
With the what?
With the edge of the sword.
They got instructions. They went in that city and killed everyone in that city manually with a sword. Keep going.
Verse 22. But Joshua had said unto the 2 men that had spied out the country, go.
Yeah. You got it. You got it. Salak, go ahead.
Go into the harlot's house and bring out thence the woman and all that she hath, as ye swear unto her.
You told her that? We're going to make good on this work. Your word is good. If you told her that, we'll honor your words. Everybody in this city gonna perish. But if you told her you made that deal, she kept up her end, we're gonna honor your words. Because you said it, we honor it. Because we honor our words. You're one of us. You understand? If you do something, you cause a curse to come on us. You cause our name to be cursed. You cause our reputation to be destroyed. And this is a spirit that the Lord wants us to have. The Chinese have this spirit. That's why they have a Chinatown everywhere. You understand? The different Arabs have this spirit. The East Indians, the Vietnamese, they have this spirit. And the Lord has been trying to put this spirit into his people. And how do we get that spirit? By obeying his laws, statutes, and commandments. So now, everybody got the instructions. Our enemies fail. Now, take me to Joshua chapter 7 and verse 1.
Joshua chapter 7, verse 1. But the children of Israel committed a trespass in the accursed thing.
Gave specific instructions. But the Jews are black. Niggas did not listen. They took some things. They hid some things. They pocketed some things. You understand? They don't need it. They gone. These people dead. What they need this for? Take one or two. Man, Joshua tripping, man. Joshua talking about all this work we put in. He talking about don't take nothing. Man, hand me some of it, man. You take some of shit. I'm taking some. I'm gonna get 4 or 5 of these. Look at these. He got rings in here. Give me the rings, man. 2 or 3 of them. Few of these. Oh, this robe right here. I'm keeping this. For sure, I'm keeping this. Yeah. Keep going.
For Achan, the son of Carmi, the son of Zabdi, the son of Zerah, of the tribe of Judah, took of the accursed thing.
And damn it, Judah. Damn it, Judah.
Get on, boy.
Damn, Judah. This brother, not only is this brother famous forever, that brother, his daddy, his granddaddy, his great-granddaddy, we know the whole lineage that reproduced this brother, who was more concerned about himself than the rest of his people. We'll never forget this brother. Just like we won't forget Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, he will forever be remembered as the brother that is the reason that we started to die in a war where no one was ever supposed to die. Keep going.
And the anger of the Lord was kindled against the children of Israel.
The anger of the Lord was kindled against this brother. Was what?
Against the children of Israel.
No, it said up top, you might be reading that wrong, Salaki, brother. Up top, it said the children of Israel committed this trespass offering. It said all of Israel did it. But Achan, the son of Carmi, the son of Zabdi, the son of Zerah of the tribe of Judah, he did it. I didn't do a damn thing. Achan did it. It wasn't me. I didn't do it. Young man Kenny didn't do it. Young man Nathaniel didn't do it. Yagadar didn't do it. Batazar Quara didn't do it. That nigga Akri did it. He did it. I don't even know him. He did it. Well, guess what? What did the Lord say? Read from there. Read that last line you just read one more time.
And the anger of the Lord was kindled against the children of Israel.
Why the anger of the Lord was not kindled against Akri? He the one that did it. Because this is how real life works. What you do will cause a curse on your people. This individual nonsense I'm my own man. I'm my own woman. YOLO. You only live once. You do you. I'ma do me. I got a personal relationship with God. Long as I got my Jesus. That's silly, selfish, arrogant Christian nonsense. That's what he did. He just took it for himself, even though we got specific instructions that none of us could have it. But he decided to take something. Very important lesson. That's a demon. He didn't think it was that big a deal. But the Lord's anger was kindled against who? Read the last part one more time.
Was kindled against the children of Israel.
That's why we don't let everybody in here. Everybody can't come be in the ISUPK. When a brother or sister comes into the school, they're off limits for 6 months. They're to be saluted only. They're here to learn and shed themselves of the world. There's a process. The scriptures say, be not hasty to credit a man or a woman. Be hasty to credit anybody. Because once you're in here, you are held to a level of accountability and responsibility for what you do. Because unlike being in the world, someone is responsible for you in here. You can't abort your babies in here because we don't abort babies. You can't be a murderer in here because we don't murder. You can't beat the hell out of your wife in here because we don't beat our wives. You can't have sex with sisters and throw them away. You can't smoke weed or sell drugs because we don't smoke weed or sell drugs. Sister, you cannot leave your husband. If he's in the world, you can't leave him. If he's in the truth, you cannot leave him. You cannot leave your wife, brother. Even if you get another one, a better one, 5 better ones. If she did not have sex with another man, that is still your woman. Now, she block your number, say, I hate you, I never want to talk to you, move. You don't ever get to hear from her again. What the hell can you do? But you cannot break and violate God's rules because you breaking and violating God's rules causes the curse to come on what? Read that last part one more time.
And the anger of the Lord was kindled against the children of Israel.
As a nation of people, God's anger is kindled against us. That's why we get killed in grocery stores. That's why we get killed at birthday parties. That's why our babies get killed in elementary school. That's why we go to learn about God in church and get molested by the pastor. God's anger is kindled. To kindle means to burn hot and strong. God's anger is burning hot and strong against us as a people. It's burning so hot and strong that babies who are not even born are being executed while they're still in their stomach's womb, in their mother's stomach. That's the anger of the Lord burning against us because our people decided to do accursed things that we were never permitted to do. Our leaders said it was okay. And that we followed the leaders. And we've been living the consequence of not following who the Lord put in charge for thousands of years. They didn't obey Joshua. One brother. Let's see what happened because of what this one brother did. Skip down. Let's see. The anger of the Lord was kindled against the children of Israel because there's one brother. He took something. Nobody else did it. Just one brother. The Lord said, the children of Israel have sinned against me. You understand? Because all of those things are important. Now let's go. All right. Give me verse 3. Skip me down to verse 3.
Joshua chapter 7 verse 3. And they returned to Joshua and said unto him, let not all the people go up.
Don't let everybody go up there. Keep going.
But let about 2,000 or 3,000 men go up and smite Ai.
Don't let everybody go up. We don't need everybody. Just send, just a few. 2,000 or 3,000. We don't need the whole platoon, the whole army. We don't need that. Just send 2,000, 3,000. We'll run through them, no problem. We done ran through more with less. They light work because they're used to the Lord being with us. Keep going.
and make not all the people to labor thee there.
Don't let everybody have to put in all this work. It's unnecessary. Send a couple thousand. They're going to step on everybody. We're going to keep going just like we've been doing. Keep going.
For they are but few.
It ain't but a few of them. Keep going.
Verse 4. So there went up thee there of the people about 3,000 men.
Mm-hmm.
And they fled before the men of Ai.
They did what?
Fled before the men of Ai.
I thought it was just a few of them. They did what?
Fled before the men of Ai.
All right. They fled before the men of Ai. Give me verse 5.
Verse 5. And the men of Ai smote of them about 36 men.
36 brothers. We have been fighting wars against our enemies. And then one day, we don't lose a single man for God knows how long. Then we go to battle, 36 brothers drop dead. This is what is supposed to happen in the minds of our people. Keep going.
For they chased them from before the gate, even unto.
Yeah, you got it. Keep going.
Okay. Salakia. For they chased them from before the gate, even unto Shebarim.
Right. They chased
and smote them in the going down.
They running away. They went up to the gates of the city. They chasing them down, gunning them down, shooting them in the back. They running for their lives. Our brothers is terrified. Terrified. 36 brothers died. Now, 36 dying, you got a few thousand. By Esau's standards, that's not a bad thing. But we are not supposed to lose any men at all. None. That's what the Lord promised Joshua. And that's how it had been until this one brother did this one thing that everybody got orders not to do. Take me down to verse 6.
Verse 6. And Joshua rent his clothes.
Joshua ripped his clothes. Keep going.
And fell to the earth upon his face before the ark of the Lord until the eventide.
He fell on his face. He ripped his clothes. He fell on his face. You understand? Until even. He's before the ark of the covenant in the temple. I mean, not in the temple, but he's before the ark of the covenant until even. He's there. Keep going.
He and the elders of Israel, and put dust upon their heads.
They put dust upon their heads. Why are they putting dust upon their heads? Because this is a symbol of extreme sadness for our people. Because it is our custom to do what? We always clean. We always fly. We always oiled and groomed and clean and fly and washing and bathing our clothes and bathing ourselves. So to see us with our garments ripped up and torn and covered in dirt, this is something that is terrible. To a real man of the Lord, unlike the leaders that are in all of the black community, that when something happens, they say, oh, we're going to pray about it. We got to pray about it. Well, you know how it is. 36 brothers out of 1,000. In Esau's standard for war, that's not bad. One brother dying is terrible to us. That is unacceptable. 36 brothers died on Joshua's watch. That's how many kids don't have a father now. That's acceptable by our leaders. That is unacceptable to the actual men that God set up. That's unacceptable. Brothers dying is unacceptable. 36 of 3,000 brothers dying is highly unacceptable. Real men of the Lord know that something is wrong for us to be losing brothers in war because we are not supposed to die. The Lord sent us. They are supposed to die, not us. He knew something was wrong because he was a real man of the Lord. Now we're going to find out. He knew, the elders knew, they in the temple trying to ask the Lord, what has gone on? You understand? What is going on? All right. Give me verse 7.
Verse 7. And Joshua said, Alas, O Lord God, wherefore hast thou at all brought this people over Jordan
He asking
to
a question. Right. He asking a question. He's like, why did we come all over Jordan? For those of y'all that don't know, the Jordan is a river. Moses split the Red Sea. Joshua split the Jordan River. A river is a huge body of water, just like a sea is a gigantic body of water. Joshua split the Jordan River with the same staff the Lord gave to Moses, I believe. All right. He asking the Lord, what happened? Our reputation. Everybody know how we get down. Now they see that we can die like they die. This is terrible. Our enemies are going to all come to do us in at once. How did this happen? What happened? Keep going.
to deliver us into the hand of the Amorites, to destroy us.
He's like, you brought us out here just so that we can die? Like, what is going on? Keep going.
Would to God we had been content and dwelt on the other side, Jordan.
He said we would have been content and just stayed on the other side of the Jordan River. This mission is to clear out the rest of the nations that live on our land. They living on our land. And now the Lord is sending Joshua to not take them off of our land. God wants these people extinct. He wants them to not exist anymore. He wants this to be the end of their lineage, the end of this people forever on the earth. No more of their men, no more of their women, no more of their children, their gods, their society, their temple. No trace of this people on the earth, as though they have never existed. Apart from the records in this Bible, you won't find anything about the Amorites. Because Joshua, David, King David, they did their job to make these people not exist, because this was the orders that God had given. Just like he said, don't take anything from them. Keep going.
Verse 8. O Lord, what shall I say when Israel turneth their backs before their enemies?
Israel is supposed to be known for standing up to their enemies. Our enemies are supposed to run from us, not us run from them. You understand? All right. Give me verse 11. Skip down.
Verse 11. Israel have sinned, and they have also transgressed my covenant, which I commanded them.
Dang. Israel sinned and broke the covenant. Keep going.
For they have even taken of the accursed thing, and have also stolen, and this symbol also. And they have put it even among their own stuff.
This is the Lord telling them exactly what happened. They hid things of their own stuff. They broke some stuff down so they could keep it for themselves. Verse 12.
Therefore, the children of Israel could not stand before their enemies.
This is why people can't stand before our enemies, because we have accursed things. We got Christian crosses. We got that Muslim kufi and the Muslim man dress on. We praying to Allah. We praying to the white image of Jesus Christ, which is Caesar Borgia. We praying to Haile Selassie. We smoking weed and growing dreadlocks, shaving our face, getting shape-ups. We praying and worshiping the flag. You rise for that national anthem, singing that Pledge of Allegiance. That's making an oath to another nation. America, that flag is a god that our people worship. They kill for that flag. They burn down, they attack and storm the Capitol for the worship of that American flag. You understand? Colin Kaepernick took a knee. The whole earth came up against him because that is a god, an idol that is being worshipped. You understand? The Lord said, don't do it. He said, why? Now, he said the children of Israel took it. Who took it? That one brother. What did the Lord say? The children of Israel did this. Everybody took that charge. Because guess what happens, black man? When you go steal a car, the police are going to look for who stole the car. and they're going to get a description. And what is that description going to say? Black man. And if they don't catch you, guess what they're going to do, black man? They're going to go find other black men. And they're going to put them in that little interrogation room. And whoever believes that the police are their friend, whoever they can scare enough, whoever they can sit in there and sweat out, they'll confess to a crime that you did. And they'll go to jail for it. They'll do time for it. And that is how our oppressor's justice system works. Even though they didn't do it, out of fear, they'll do it. You understand? Like other people can be punished for your actions. Your children, your mother, your father, your brothers and sisters can very much be punished for what you do or don't do. This is an important lesson for our people to think as a nation and not just as individuals, which is how Christianity has taught us to think. All right, so keep reading. Keep going, Brother Kishar.
Okay. But turn their backs before their enemies.
Right. They're running away. We're not supposed to be the people running away. They're supposed to be running away. All right. Now take me. So, like, what verse are you at?
I'm at
You should be at 12.
Con. Yes, sir. It was still some more left on that verse.
Con, keep reading 12.
Con. But turn their backs before their enemies, because they were accursed. Neither will I be with you anymore, except ye destroy the accursed from among you.
That is important. The Lord said, I will not be with you anymore. The Lord was with us at one point. The Lord left us. That's why ceremonially it was important to remember being clean and unclean. If you are unclean, don't put the temple at jeopardy. Don't put your brothers and sisters at jeopardy. Don't serve another god. Don't take of the idols of the other nations. Don't take their customs. Don't take their religions, their holidays. Don't make a covenant with them. Don't marry them, because the Lord will leave us all. The Lord will leave the entire nation. He won't be with any of us because of what you do. Not just now, generations. The Lord won't be with any of us. Not me, not my kids, not your kids, not my kids' kids, because of what you're doing now. We got a generation of people, generation of brothers and sisters that don't know drug usage is bad. Percocets, Molly, weed, lean. This is culturally a part of Black culture. Culturally, it is a part of our culture. It is a normal thing. A few generations ago, it was introduced at first, and it was not accepted. 60s, 70s, late 70s, 80s. By the time the end of the late 80s came, it wasn't accepted, but it was here, and it was an explosion, and it was terrible. And in the late 90s, and then the next few generations, now it is culturally a part of our culture. And just having that by default built into us as a people, the Lord will not be with us. The Bible says in Proverbs 28:9, he that turneth away his ear from hearing the law, even his prayer shall be an abomination. You understand? Like, this is how important it is for our people to come back and serve the Most High, because the Lord will leave the entire nation. That's how we ended up on slave ships. All right. And this is what the Lord, things like this, the Lord have been trying to teach us for centuries. Thousands of years, the Lord has been trying to teach us this. This is just one example. All right. So we're going to finish off this story here. Let me just skip down. Give me the verse. Take the verse 15.
Con. And it shall be that he that is taken with the accursed thing shall be burnt with fire.
What did the Lord say?
Shall be burnt with fire.
Yeah. He's supposed to be burned up with fire. Keep going.
He and all that he has.
Everything that he has. Keep going.
Because he have transgressed the covenant of the Lord.
Keep going.
And because he have wrought folly in Israel.
He did what?
Wrought folly in Israel.
This one man caused all of this suffering on our nation. This one man. Take me down to verse 17.
Verse 17. And he brought the family of Judah. And he took the family of the Zarhites. And he brought the family of the Zarhites man by man. And Zabdi was taken.
He went through that whole family. Every man in that family. Ricky, Johnny, Jimmy, Tommy, Timmy, Javier, Jose, Anthony. He went through that whole family until he got Zabdi. Keep going.
Verse 18. And he brought his household man by man. And Achan, the son of Carmi, the son of Zabdi, the son of Zerah, of the tribe of Judah, was taken.
He did a thorough investigation, man by man. You understand? This is why it's very important to be in control of that household. Very important. Keep going.
Verse 19. And Joshua said unto Achan, my son, give, I pray thee, glory to the Lord God of Israel, and make confession unto him.
Keep going.
And tell me now what thou hast done. Had it not for me.
This is an interrogation. He coming to talk to this brother. How does he know? He went man by man, family by family. Keep going.
Verse 20. And Achan answered Joshua and said, indeed, I have sinned against the Lord God of Israel. And thus have I done.
I did it, man. I did it. I have sinned against the Lord God of Israel. Salakia. I did it. Keep going.
Verse 21. When I saw among the spoils a goodly Babylonish garment.
It was a garment of Babylon. It was wonderful. It was beautiful. He saw it. It looked wonderful. And that look wonderful of that garment, it looked more wonderful to him than obeying the commandment of the Most High. That he already knew. This is a trained man of war. This is a killer. This is a soldier in the armies of Israel. Trained. They rolling city to city, countryside to countryside, dispatching thousands of our enemies. People that would just as soon kill and eat us. The Lord sent them to clear out our land so that the future generations of our people can have the inheritance that the Lord intended for us. And we not end up growing in the ghettos and the slums, being put in our oppressors' prisons or his school to prison pipeline, working on his dead-end jobs while they bleed us dry. You understand? Keep going.
And 200 shekels of silver. And a wedge of gold of 50 shekels weight. Then I coveted them.
All right.
And took them.
I coveted them. I desired to take something that I did not have the right to take. I desired it, and then I took them. Keep going.
And behold, they are hid in the earth in the midst of my tent, and the silver under it.
They are buried in my tent. I took it, I hid it, they buried in my tent. He saw his opportunity to come up. And the Lord said, don't do it in advance. He did it anyway. Keep going.
Verse 22. So Joshua sent messengers, and they ran unto the tent, and behold, it was hid in his tent, and the silver under it.
Everything he said was hid in that tent. His brother risked all of that. 36 brothers lost their lives because of what he did. When he did that, he didn't intend on 36 brothers dying. He didn't intend on that happening. He just saw this was his opportunity to come up. And you know why he did this? Because he took the orders that he was given lightly. That's why it's very important to follow orders. Being able to take orders, follow orders. That's an important part of a brother coming into the truth. To follow God's commandments, his laws. This could be the difference between us going to war for 100 years and never losing a single brother in a war, or we have unspotted record until we get to the city of Ai, where this one brother stole to make a come up for himself. Even though he knew better, he took something for himself. Now brothers start dying. Now the fearless army, brothers running away for their lives, getting stabbed in the back. A whole reputation that we spent decades building, war after war, enemy after enemy, city after city. Now they know us for running away, getting stabbed in the back with arrows because of him. And how God left us because of him. He didn't think that far. He just thought about himself. But there's a lesson in this. The Bible says the things written aforetime before our learning. This is what's actually written in the Bible. Keep going.
Verse
24.
Yeah, verse 24. And Joshua and all Israel with him took Achan, the son of Zerah, and the silver.
Took him and that silver. That silver he loved so goddamn much. Keep going.
And the garment.
That garment he loved so damn much that was more important to him than the lives of his brothers, than obeying the Most High, than his nation. Give it to him. Keep going.
And the wedge of gold.
And that gold that he took and hid away, even though we got instructions that every other brother in the 1,000-man unit got orders to not do this. He decided he was going to do it. And then brothers start dying. Give him that damn gold. That gold too. Keep going.
And his sons.
And what?
And his sons.
His sons. His little boys. Keep going.
And his daughters.
And his daughters. Those things are his possessions. His sons, his daughters. Keep going.
And his oxen.
Yeah, his oxen too.
And his asses.
And his donkeys. All of his donkeys. Keep going.
And his sheep.
His sheep. He had good possessions. He had oxen, donkeys, sheep, sons, daughters. Keep going.
And his tent.
His house, that place where he lived. Keep going.
And all that he had.
Everything that belonged to him. Keep going.
And they brought them into the valley of Achor.
They brought him into a valley. A valley is a low place. His sons, his daughters, his oxen, his sheep, everything. The whole nation of Israel took him and brought him to a low place. Keep going.
Verse 25. And Joshua said, why hast thou troubled us?
He said, why did you trouble us? Why did you do this to us? Why you put us in this situation like this? Keep going.
The Lord shall trouble thee this day.
You did this to us. You troubled us. We paid for what you did. Today the Lord gonna pay you back for what you did. Keep going.
And all Israel stoned him with stones.
They did what?
Stoned him with stones.
They did what?
Stoned him with stones.
Yeah. He put himself above his nation, above his brothers, above the Lord. Him, his ox, his sheep, his sons, his daughters, everything that he has. They all getting stoned to death now. Keep going.
And burned them with fire.
And did what?
And burned them with fire.
Yeah, all of them. Everybody got burned up because of what he did. Keep going.
After they had stoned them with stones.
After getting stoned to death, then they got set on fire. So everybody should learn, don't do what he did. Don't put your sons and your daughters' lives in jeopardy, because there are 36 brothers who also have sons and daughters that don't have a father anymore. They got wives too. Those wives are now widows raising those kids by themselves so that you can come up. so that you can slang your dope, you can get your perks, you can do what's best for you so that you can survive. I understand, brother. We don't live so that individuals can survive. We are a nation. So that everyone can understand that you coming up personally, if it is at the expense of the nation, you are not allowed to do that. This society has put us in the mindset. Christianity has told us that was acceptable. That is unacceptable. He died, his family died, everyone got burned up. Everything that belonged to him was burned up. There was no more trace of this brother except these records here in this Bible. Keep going.
And they raised over him a great heap of stones until this day.
And they covered him up with stones, buried him to this day. Keep going.
So the Lord turned from his fierceness of his anger.
And that's what the Lord required. The Lord turned from the fierceness of his anger. See, while they're singing and dancing and beating tambourines in church, they don't actually teach you about the God of the Bible. This is what the God of the Bible required. Like, this is the actual spirit of the Lord. The spirit of the Lord is not that singing and dancing they teach you in church. This was the spirit that Christ actually had. Christ came to die for the sins of brothers like this, because the Lord left the entire nation because of what this one brother did. You understand? Christ came to give this brother and all the rest of the nation a chance to come back and serve the Most High again. You understand? Keep going. Now the Lord is no longer angry. The Lord will be with us again. Keep going.
Wherefore the name of that place was called the Valley of Achor until this day.
Yeah, that valley is named after him. But they had to stone him and his family and burn everything that he owned so that the Lord could turn back and serve us and protect us again. You understand? That's just a short lesson. And this was the spirit that was behind why we're reading the laws on clean and unclean. Don't put the temple at jeopardy. Don't put your brothers and sisters in jeopardy by disobeying the Most High. Like, this is a spirit that the Lord has been trying to cultivate into our people, even way back in the Old Testament. This is what Christ was explaining to them. This is why Christ was explaining to the Sadducees and Pharisees. He came to give our people something we did not deserve, which was mercy, which was a grace period, a time for us to change our lives, to change the way that we think, to change the way that we operate, so that now we can live his life that he would have been living if he had not died for the lives that we were living, so that we could stop. That's what it's talking about. We're going to have to pick up where we go on from next week, because we over time. All right. We started a little bit late. We're going to wrap that up there. We're going to get back to the rest of that baptism. Finish there next week. All right. Most High in Christ there. So we're going to wrap that up there. Just up here. Bear with me just a moment. Just a moment here. Here we go.
All right.
All right, Most High in Christ, but just a moment. All right. The water's just up here. All right. With that, medium. We'll do ISUPK security announcements. ISUPK security announcements. Right here, we're going to read these off. We're the ISUPK. Start out at 1 West 125th Street in Harlem, New York. We're not affiliated with any other Israelite group. Rule for brother and sister. When a brother and sister comes into the school, they're off limits for 6 months. They're to be saluted only. They're here to learn and share themselves with the world. All right. If a brother or sister has after this 6 month period, if a brother or sister has a particular interest in any brother or sister, they're to get counsel from the head to speak to a brother or sister. All right. If it's approved, there's another 6 month period in which the brother and sister will court each other. After this 6 month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to Mary. Tithes, which is a commandment. Numbers chapter 18, verse 21. Malachi chapter 3, verse 8 through 10 means tenth in the Hebrew. Ma'ashara, 10% of any penny of any increase the Most High gives to you. Give right to the school. You go to ISUPK.com, pay your tithes right through there. Priest fund, free will offer for priests, not mandatory, whatsoever amount you would like to give. All right. Upcoming holy convocations, we got the Feast of Purim coming up March 5th and 6th. Then we got the Passover coming up April the 1st. Whole week of events. Passover coming up. All right. Be prepared in Raleigh, North Carolina. Full week of events. All black party, children's party. You understand? All right. Make sure you pay your Passover funds. Pay them right on ISUPK.com. You get your ticket for the all black party printed up there. All right. And lastly, if any brother wants to become a trooper in the school, it'll be in all black. Black boots, shirt, pants, headband, war scarf. You understand? Contact the ISUPK school in whatever city and state that you're in. You understand? All right. You want to contact the school. You contact and find out there. All right, brother. And with that, we're going to give one courtesy salute. Barak. Yahweh Shemi Awashah Barakatham to the brothers. Yahweh Shemar Alathan by Shemi Awashah to the sisters. With that, shalom.